Okay, so this is how to do a college search for schools in the United States. We're going to cover this again later on, but this is the extension part of this month, and so hopefully some of you will dig into this, and so that you can get a jump start on this. So this is Maya Learning. This is one search engine that you can use, and if you go to College Plan. And the first page will take you to, if you're going to, it takes you to the colleges considering. You want to go to college search. I think your menu is a little bit different than mine. So I'm going to, United States of America. I'm not going to search by keyword. If you know your field of study, let's see if this comes. Okay. So you've got 6,751 choices. Okay. So let me explain what this is talking about. So if there are some states that you have in mind, you can put in the states. You can put in regions. So New England, I'm just going to put down sort of popular one. New England. A lot of people put in the East Coast, so like New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, stuff like that. And then a lot of people, for some reason, will put in California. So geographically, you can choose geographically where you want to go kind of in the United States. Now, I'm going to assume at this point you don't have SAT scores. I'm not going to put SAT scores. Now, selectivity, this has to do with universities and the percentage of students that they admit. And I really like this because for most of our students, that most selective is really reach schools. That 25 to 50% is sort of for most students at ISY, sort of in that fit. Some students it's reach fit. Some of them it's fit and maybe easier to get into. And then the somewhat selective 50 to 75% and below, that's usually your safety schools. Okay. So I usually pick kind of these two to start off with, and that's going to eliminate some other ones. Okay, browse for program. Okay, so they give you areas here, right? So let's say you want to go for, let's say you sort of want business. Okay, so if you don't know a specific area in business that you want to go into, you would pick business administration management. Okay, uh, you can pick one or two of these categories, but if you want to do construction management, you want to do hospitality, human resource, international business, you can pick any of these. Okay, and so, or if you just want to pick the area of business, then that's fine as well. And I'm going to go ahead and put, because I'm not sure what in there I want to do, so I'm going to put business administration. Now, under business administration operations, business administration and management general. That's what a lot of in the United States, a lot of universities uh, have as a general business major. But you can also get as specific as you want. Okay, down here they have even more specific programs: project management, retail management, and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and click business administration. So I want, and then you can put apply. Okay, and so that's what they're gonna do. In there they're gonna only include business administration and management schools. Now the nice part about this is you can also pick a second area if you want, or third area that you want, and you can also look for that as well. Okay, browse. Oh, I already did that. Okay, type of school. Okay, so you want a 4-year college, right? Public or private, doesn't matter. Type of environment. So where do you think you'll really like to study? Do you want to be in a large city? And they give some examples here, right? City is a really large. So you're talking about, Philadelphia, New York City, that sort of thing. A town is still a large. Pomona is pretty large still, but not sort of a huge city. or suburb. So a lot of students don't necessarily like to be rural. If you're open to rural, just leave it all blank. Okay? But if you specifically want to be like in a downtown or a suburb of the downtown, click that. Now you can think about size. What kind of, again, does it not matter? If it doesn't matter, don't click anything. If you're like, I don't like those big schools, a medium school seems nice. There's some advantage. Small school, you get to know the students, you get to know the professors. The larger schools are usually your research schools, although you can do research in the small schools. Medium school is kind of best of both worlds it has. So I actually kind of like the medium school, so I'm going to pick that. Okay. Religious affiliation, don't have any. Okay. Teams and rec. Do you want to have specific sports at the school? If you don't care, don't worry about that. And let's check out what diversity means. Okay, campus activities, if there's something specific in there that you like. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Now you can check and see how many we have here. So I've got six universities. Okay, so we've got Boston, acceptance rate is 32%, Brown, 8%, Harvard, wow. Harvard University doesn't have business. I'm not sure why they came up. Stanford, University of Laverne, Yale University, those are my six. Okay, so those are really tough to get into schools. Okay, so but they're very selective and most selective. So given that, you might open that, you might go back and look under selectivity and open it up to somewhat selective. And now let's see what kind of things we get. We got 23 now. Okay. So now you got Azusa in California, Brandman, I've never heard of them, Brown, California State University. Okay, the California State Universities are safeties for most of you. Chapman, okay, again, Harvard, I'm not sure why Harvard came up because it doesn't have business. Let me go and check the browse for programs again here. Okay. And then look. Okay. Apply there. Types of schools. Yep. Okay. Okay. So that's one way to do a list. Now, there's more in here too. University of San Francisco, University of San Diego, Laverne, okay, Stanford. So you have a Santa Clara University, a lot of California schools, right? Rhode Island College, Quinnipiac University. And you can start to click on these. You can start to do some. So looking at University of San Francisco, you can go to their section, you can start to look at them, and look, they even have videos, okay, that they've put in there from the students, campus community admissions. And if this is a university that seems interesting, I think you can find, let me see if in admissions, what they have. And again, you can see here, right, about where the average student is. Again, your SAT scores and GPA. Okay, does this seem like a good fit? Acceptance rate 66, right? Here's kind of from their average, their academic profile, what they're looking for in terms of the SAT and their GPA. And then other data here. So after looking at a school, if you think you want to keep track of it, you can click that and it will go on. It will keep track of your list. And then you can look at colleges considering, and that's where it ends up. Okay. So that's one way of doing a college list. There's another one that's really good. If you go to College Board and you go to College Search here, they ask some similar questions, but it's a little bit different. Okay, they ask for test scores and selectivity as well. You can click on that. Again, if you don't have your SATs or something. And then they also do, right? Most selective, very selective, very selective. And because of the last results, I'm going to put somewhat selective and see what that means. Okay. And then type of school. Again, you want to pick a 4-year school. And I'm going to go ahead and do medium. Nope, sorry, medium. So their numbers are a little bit different. So they say small is less than 2,000, whereas their medium is a bigger range, 2,000, 5,000. So that's okay. And then location. Let's see what they have for location. So this is interesting. So if you actually have relatives somewhere in the United States and you think you want to go to school near them, you can put the zip code in. Okay, and then select region or state here. So I said up in the New England area. And then I said California. If you don't care, you don't have to fill this part in. You can even go outside the United States here, okay, in countries if you want. Campus and housing. So there's more here that they're asking for, right? Campus and housing. So again, do you want to be urban? So they only ask 3, right? Urban, suburban, rural. So I don't want to be in the rural area. And this is fun too because there's a difference between students on campus and commuters. So a school that's mainly a commuter school is that students are driving in to that campus and not actually living on the campus. You want to click on most students live on campus, okay? You definitely want on-campus housing for at least the first year. And if you want, if you think that you might live in the dorms all 4 years, you click on that and only select school that have that all 4 years. Okay, if you want to have fraternities or sororities, if you think you want to have a car and that's really important, click cars are allowed for freshmen. Okay. Majors in learning. Okay, so this is kind of a similar way. You can click on, let's say, business, and then it will give you a general thing, or you can click on this business here. Okay. Let's see, what do I want to click on? Business administration and management general. That's what most courses, again, that's what most courses. So I'm going to go back here, right? If you want specifically marketing, right, you can put marketing, marketing management general, right? You know, hospitality, that sort of thing. If you want to make sure that they have internships, you know, schools have internships, you can click that. If you want something that's a student design major and that sounds interesting, you can do that. Okay. How many schools do we have now? You can go up here and look along the way. So 21 results so far. Okay. Sports and activities, again, if there's something that you want specifically to have on there, you can click that. It's paying. This is new. Okay. So you can skip that. That's really designed for people within the United States. Okay, additional support programs. You can kind of see if that's important to you. And diversity. Okay, so percentage of minority students. If that's important to you, you can put that in there. But so far, you have a pretty good list here. There's 21 results. Babson, Bentley, Biola, Boston College. Okay, so some of the similar schools, but there's some different ones here too, right? Chapman, Clark, Pepperdine, okay, Sacred Heart, right? These are all good. These are all great schools, right? University of San Diego, University of Vermont, right? And again, this, you know, Worcester Polytechnic, that also has a business school in it. Now, a lot of this stuff, this is a smaller list because we put a medium size. So you can kind of go back and play a little bit and say, maybe I just want to see very selective and most selective. Take that off, right? And maybe because I don't see certain schools on there, let's see what we got. 8 results there. Okay. Maybe you want to go back and open that up and do, maybe you want to do a large school as well. That's going to really jack up your list. Oh, 13 schools. Okay. Okay. Right. Boston University. You got Northeastern now, right? That got added. Loyola Marymount. Berkeley, they don't have a business school, but they have some business thing that's there, right? Irvine has a business school. University of Southern California has a business school. And so these are all very difficult to get into schools. Right? And then if you have a College Board account, you can actually save this in your account. If you don't, you can print results so that you keep track of them, or you can actually go back to Maya Learning and go into College Search, and you can actually put in schools in there and do some research, or you can go to colleges considering and actually put in one of the schools from your College Board list and add the college and put it on the list just to keep track of it. Right? So those are two ways, two databases that you can use to start making a list. And in universities, some of them were the same on both lists that you created. And so that's a good lead on some of the universities that if they show up on both lists, it's likely that they have the sort of the characteristics that you want of a university. Right now, this is just an initial thing. You don't know your chances of getting in because you may not have an SAT score or a GPA at this point. But again, this is just based on your preferences. There's other things out there. If in the course of 11th grade, especially this first semester, you want to know about other databases out there, you can check the junior admissions guide. There's some other suggestions to other databases out there, or you can come talk to me, and I have access to other databases or other information that can other lists that can kind of help you also sort of bring down that list. But for sure, we're going to talk deeply about this the spring of your junior year where we meet individually, and then I can individualize kind of the schools that you're kind of